posture. What is it? How does it affect the ball flight? And how can I make sure I get it in the same place every time? So posture. This is actually quite a tricky one for people who are quite new to golf to get in the same spot every single time. So I want to go over where it should be. All right, so I've got my medium iron first. I'll go through driver, I'll go through wedge. So where we want that setup to be, how it affects contact on the club face, how it can affect swing, and how you can make sure you're kind of setting up in the same spot every time. So first things first, my medium iron. How on earth do I get the correct posture for a medium iron? Now, what I see taught quite a lot of the time is I see quite a lot of knee flex. I see this all the time, all right? People sitting down like they're at a desk, all right? I get it. Most people do sit behind a desk each day, but we want to get that out of our golf swing, okay? It's too much of a static position to be, so let's make sure we're a bit more athletic position. So the way to get into good posture, if we were to lock our legs out here, that's obviously too straight. So all I'm going to do now is just pop my knees. Pop my knees there. Nice, soft legs. Now, obviously my upper body is a little bit too tall. I'm not going to be able to reach that ball. So from there, what I'm looking for is I'm looking to get my hinge from my hips. So I use my club here. So I push my hips back this way, keep my legs in that same spot. And you can now see that my spine has lowered down towards the ball. All right. That's now helped me to push my arms away from my body a little bit, so they're hanging nice and loose under my shoulders, and that's where I should feel like I am. So I've got my grip, I've still kept my soft knees here, I've got my bit of forward lean, I can feel it tight up the back of my legs, into my glutes, into my lower back. That's working the hamstrings a little bit more. Generally, that's when you know you've got it in quite a good spot, feel a little bit uncomfortable, all right. But from here, so how do I now measure this position? So what I will get players to do a lot of the time is I'll get them to use their palm. All right, so I'm going to hold my palm out this way, and I should be able to fit my palm between the end of the club and my legs. So you can see I can squeeze it through here quite nicely. If this was tucked in here, however, I have got no chance of getting my palm in between me and the club. So again, that's going to affect how I swing the club. It's going to end up being probably quite a steep, choppy kind of swing, which nobody wants, by the way. All right, so I've got to make sure I've got my hands out here, got this nice gap in between this, my arms are nice and relaxed, and I'm in this setup. This now means that I'm able to use my body to push the club away into our hip-to-hip swing, which we'll talk about later. But I'm making sure that that's my posture there. So soft knees, hinge from the hips, spine forward, hands hanging from shoulders, and a hand in between me and the end of that club. That's how we're going to get into that position in the first place. Again, what we don't want to do, and this is how it's going to affect how we strike the ball. So if I was too far away from that ball, okay, not that any of you set up like this, but this gives you a good idea, is I'm probably going to end up striking that right off of the toe of the club. Because I'm too far away from it, I'm going to catch it right off here. And you guessed it, if I go in now too much this way, what can happen a lot of the time is I catch it off the heel of the club. So I can hit those horrible shanky shots. All right, and that's just through poor posture. So make sure you get it in the same place every single time. So go through your process. If you're going to the range, take your time on it, especially when you're new to golf, all right? Don't rush these things. Look at all the best golfers you know, and I bet you they get their setup in the same place every time. All right, so don't rush it. So medium iron, we've got soft knees, hinge from the hips, hands hanging down straight under the shoulders, shuffle into my ball, and I should just be able to fit my palm in between me and the end of the club. So how about posture with a driver then? Is it any different? Should we set up different? Yes, it's going to be different. This club is way longer than my 7-iron, all right, and I want to swing this a lot quicker. So we've got to set up ever so slightly different. But what differences are we going to put in there? Well, the first thing I'm going to do, so distance from the ball. So I'm going to still go over my nice soft knees here, still got my forward lean. However, between me, the butt of the club, and me, I'm now going to stretch my hand out this much. this is now between me and the end of the club. So I've got a lot more stretch in here, all right, but you can see my hands are still underneath my chin. I'm not like this, not stretching, not sat back in the heels. All right, I've still got my forward lean, got my soft knees, all right, but now I've got more room in here. That's going to give us plenty of room to be able to turn that club back. All right, again, we don't want to be up here too choppy. Don't want to be around here too flat possibly and hit way behind the ball. So again, make sure you're in here, baby. And now we come to our wedges. So how do we make sure we've got the correct posture when we're trying to hit these much shorter clubs? So, as we've already been over, we're going to make sure we've got our soft knees. We know that our stance width is going to be a little bit smaller. All right, I'm going to lean forward, hinge from the hips, making sure my arms are relaxed, hanging from shoulders. All right, and now all of a sudden I'm just over this palm away. So I'm no longer this one, that's mid-iron. Now all of a sudden I turn it flat, and again I'm just making sure I've got enough room to fit this in here. Again, I'm not going to swing this one so quick, it's a shorter club, I don't need to be stood so far away. So make sure we're just over a palm in here, and that's where we want a perfect posture for this.